Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy, delicious pumpkin muffins with the crunch topping. You're going to love these. These are basically just dump and stir, just like my other muffins I showed you guys on my last video. These are moist, delicious. You're going to want to have these with your coffee or even with your tea in the afternoon. So let me show you how I make these. And we are using coconut flour for this recipe. As you can see, I've already lined my muffin tins. And what I have in the bowl is coconut flour. I have some baking powder, some salt, and pumpkin pie spice. This is my pumpkin puree. Some almond milk. You can use any milk of your choice. The butter that has been melted, and I have some eggs and some egg whites that I've beaten up. Here's my erythritol, which is what I'm using, granular, and my vanilla. And all I'm doing here is just making sure there's no lumps in the dry ingredients. And I know it looks like a little bit of flour, but coconut flour, you guys, is very absorbent. I'm sure you've heard me say that before, as well as a lot of other bakers. So you don't really need a lot of it. And it's the least expensive of between coconut and almond flour. So it's my preference to use coconut flour in a lot of the recipes. And all I'm doing here is just adding in the eggs and the egg whites. Now we're gonna add in our butter. And you guys really just make sure you get all of your batter or all of the ingredients out of the bowls, because these are expensive. Butter is expensive, eggs are expensive. Everything. So just make sure you get everything out of the bowl. In goes my milk. This is unsweetened almond milk, but you can also use coconut milk, whatever milk you prefer to use. Now I'm going to add in my granulated erythritol. If you have powdered erythritol, it'll work good as well. And this is my pumpkin puree. If you have fresh pumpkin and you want to make your own pumpkin puree, you can use that. That's even better. And this is some liquid stevia. My favorite is from Trader Joe's. And the amount that you're going to use is going to be based on your sweet tooth or your palate for sugar, because some of us like our sweets sweeter than others. So I added here about 20 drops. And now that everything's in there, I'm gonna go ahead and start combining. And you see the batter looks pretty loose. And I remember when I started first baking with coconut flour, I always was like, oh, this is too loose. I mean, this is too watery. This isn't going to work. But of course, I learned by trial and error that it does thicken up instantly within like seconds. So it's okay for it to look like this. And you can see I'm vigorously making sure that everything is combined and there's no lumps. You cannot overwork coconut flour or any of these batters because there's no gluten. So these muffins will never be tough no matter how long you mix them for. And I realized at some point here that I forgot something. But I kept on stirring. There's the consistency. You see how quickly it thickened up. So yep, I realized I forgot my vanilla. Very important. So no biggie. I just went ahead and I added it now. And I mixed it in a little bit more. And I do want to take a moment, you guys, to thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I do want to encourage those of you that are not subscribed to my channel, to please do so. I notice with on my YouTube stats or my analytics that a lot of you are watching my videos and hopefully enjoying them, but you're not subscribed. Please subscribe so you can really support me. I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 subscribers. And I can see that a lot of you are watching the videos but not subscribed. It's free to subscribe, so please do so. Really appreciate it. That way you can take advantage of also of all of my other videos that I'm going to share with you, all my recipes. So here what I'm doing is I'm using a 1/4 cup measure to fill in the cavities of my muffin tin. And you should get exactly 12 muffins. If you have like the mini muffin tins, you're gonna get double, you're gonna get 24. You can do that as well if you wanna have smaller portions. Like if you're really tracking, you know, a lot of what you're eating. I don't really do that anymore, but I did at the beginning. I just kind of eat when I'm hungry. And these are great to portion out and do meal prep with, because you can have them ready to go. And they last really well in the refrigerator. I have not tried freezing them. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I'm sure you can do that, like individually freeze them and put them in the microwave when you're ready to eat them. But I have put them in the fridge. They lasted me about a week, and only because I finished them all, or we finished them all. But yeah, so you're gonna get exactly 12 of these muffins. If you use a bigger muffin tin, like those jumbo muffin tins, then you're probably just gonna get about 6 of them, maybe 6 or 7 of them. But I find this is a great portion size. You guys are gonna want to stick around a little bit later. I'm gonna show you how you can really kick these muffins up to the next level. So I'll show you that here a little bit later in the video. But in the meantime, as you can see, again, I am getting all of the batter out of my bowl. And I'm just looking to see if any of them have a little bit less than the other, because I do like to have these all the same size. Same portions. And these bake up really nice, you guys. Nice and tall, fluffy, just like your regular muffins. And make sure you have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. Everyone knows your oven. If your oven runs a little low, then maybe bring it up to about 375. But 350 is what I use to bake these at. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create the crunch topping, which, it's amazing. I love it. What I have in here in this bowl, these are pecans that I got at Trader Joe's. I just roughly chopped them up with a knife, made them as small as possible. And this sweetener that I have here is my new favorite sweetener, is that lakanto golden. So it's almost like a light, very light brown sugar substitute. So I'm using a tablespoon of that, along with about 2 tablespoons of those chopped pecans. And I'm just gonna combine it all and equally spread them over the top of my muffins before putting them in the oven. And I think this really makes it extra special. I don't know, I like to have that crunchy top for that contrast of texture. So just liberally put some on top of each one of your muffins. And then you can always go back and see if any of them have a little bit less or more, than others, and put some more on top of those. And that, just kind of gives them another texture. I don't know about you guys, but I love crunchy stuff. Okay, so so that's what I did here. If you don't want to go the extra mile and do the crunchy topping, you don't have to. But in my opinion, this is really one of the things that really makes these muffins outstanding in flavor and in texture. So your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees. And these are going to bake for about 20 minutes. Exactly. I have always baked them at 20 minutes, 350 degrees. And we're going to put them in the oven until they're ready, and I'll show you what you're going to do. So I took them out of the oven and I used a toothpick to make sure that they were done, and they were. The toothpick comes out clean. That means they're ready. So I put them on that cooling rack for a little bit, and now I'm going to show you how to really kick these up to another level with this cream cheese glaze. So I hope you guys are still watching, because this is what's going to bring your muffins up to the next level of deliciousness. And I just have some cream cheese. I added a little bit of pumpkin pie spice, just a little bit, but you know, again, this is to taste. About a tablespoon of that same pumpkin puree that I used in the muffin batter. And what I have is, this is erythritol, same erythritol that I used, but this one's powdered. I put it in my Ninja, and I powder it so that it's not gritty, you know, when you're using it like for a frosting or for a glaze like this. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon. And if you guys like it sweeter, you can use more. So you're going to taste it. And again, I'm going to use my liquid stevia. And I'm adding about 10 drops, but you can add more if you like it sweeter. You're going to kind of taste it. And I didn't show it here, but I did add a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. It just kind of helps with the stevia if there's any aftertaste. I can't really detect a lot of aftertaste, but if you're new to doing this type of diet and you're not used to the taste of stevia and erythritol, you're gonna always tell there's some aftertaste until your palate gets adjusted. But I find that a little pinch of salt is the key to that. So make sure your cream cheese is room temperature. I actually put mine in the microwave for a few seconds so that I was able to combine everything together. So just whisk everything together, and you're gonna get enough to drizzle over your muffins. I like mine to be kind of thick, more on the thick side, but if you like yours to be more runny, more like a glaze, you can add a little bit of water or even a little bit of heavy cream or a little bit of almond milk. And you wanna taste it before you put it over your muffins. And you may want to leave some of them without the glaze on top. That's up to you. I mean, I love the glaze, but sometimes I'm just in the mood to have just a muffin with my coffee, and I'm not in the mood for glaze or frosting. But if you're a fan of frosting or glaze, you're going to want to glaze them all and put as much as you want on top. So basically, these can actually just be cupcakes too. What's the difference between a muffin and a cupcake, right? The frosting or the glaze. So as you can see how beautiful these look. And as always, all of the ingredients and instructions for this recipe I am going to have for you under the description box of this video. So you're just going to click on the show more, where it says show more after the description, and that's where it's going to be. And these are all ingredients that most of us are going to have at home. And this time of the year, pumpkin season, everyone's looking for something pumpkin, right? Well, this is one that I think it's super easy and you guys are going to love. So you see my glaze is pretty thick, but that's how I like it. And you can eat these right away, or you can store them. I store the leftovers in a plastic container with a top and put them in the fridge. And then when I'm ready to eat one, I just put it in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds and they're perfect. I showed you guys in my latest video where I kind of showed you guys or shared with you guys what I eat in a day, keto. And this is one of the muffins I was eating for breakfast. Look at that. Oh, my kitchen smells amazing right now. So here's the contrast, the one with the crunch and